spoiler warning for the entirety of King of the Hill. Enjoy the video.
You've grabbed my attention and got me eager for more.
Propane and propane accessories is Hank Hill's iconic catchphrase and professional mantra. An assistant manager at Strickland Propane, Hank sells these products with immense pride and enthusiasm. The phrase represents his unwavering work ethic, straightforward personality, and singular passion for the propane industry. It appears repeatedly throughout the series when Hank discusses his occupation and has become the most recognizable line from the show, frequently referenced in popular culture and internet memes.
I'm gonna sell propane and propane accessories, if my grades are good enough.
The King of the Hill opening theme, Yahoos and Triangles, was composed by alternative rock band The Refreshments. This instrumental southwestern rock piece features distinctive guitar work and a catchy melody that became instantly recognizable over the show's 13-season run. The theme maintained its core sound throughout the series with only minor variations, earning widespread praise from fans and critics for its unique Americana vibe that perfectly captured the show's Texas setting. Speaking of, Arlen is the fictional small town in Texas where King of the Hill takes place. Created by Mike Judge, Arlen represents middle-class suburban Texas with conservative values, blue-collar jobs, and Texas pride. Arlen is believed to be inspired by real Texas suburbs around Dallas, Fort Worth, and Houston, particularly Garland, which sounds similar to Arlen.
You got it, you got it, you got it.
Mike Judge is an animator, writer, and director who co-created King of the Hill with Greg Daniels in 1997. Judge previously created Beavis and Butthead and later went on to create Silicon Valley and films like Office Space and Idiocracy. For King of the Hill, Judge served as executive producer and voiced the main character Hank Hill, along with other characters including Boomhauer. Whoa! Is Hank Hill's signature vocalization expressing shock, horror, or distress. First appearing in early episodes, this distinctive exclamation became a defining character trait throughout the series. Voice actor Mike Judge created this sound by combining a yell with a gasp. The exclamation typically occurs when Hank encounters something that violates his traditional sensibilities or witnesses something particularly disturbing. Fans often use this phrase to reference the character or the show. Alamo Beer is the fictional Texas beer brand prominently featured throughout the series. Hank, Dale, Bill, and Boomhauer regularly drink it while standing in the alley. The brand is a cultural touchstone that represents Texas pride, male bonding, and working class values. Its distinctive red, white, and blue cans feature the silhouette of the Alamo mission. Several episodes involve the beer company directly, including one where the brewery moves to Mexico and another revealing the beer contains tainted methanol.
6 a.m. and already the boy ain't right.
This is Hank Hill's recurring catchphrase, expressing disappointment or concern about his son Bobby's unconventional behavior. The phrase encapsulates Hank's traditional values and discomfort with Bobby's sensitive nature, creative interests, and quirky personality. It highlights the central father-son relationship dynamic where Hank struggles to understand Bobby's departure from conventional masculinity. The catchphrase became one of the most recognizable and frequently quoted lines from the series, often used when Bobby pursues interests like comedy, fashion, or other activities Hank considers unusual.
Now tell me why Joseph was in the janitor's closet.
He was just, selling drugs.
That was an awful lie, son. Terrible.
Taste the meat, not the heat, is Hank Hill's signature catchphrase promoting propane grilling. As assistant manager at Strickland Propane, Hank uses this slogan to emphasize propane's superiority over charcoal, arguing that propane's clean burn allows the natural flavor of meat to shine through without the smoke taste imparted by the charcoal. It appears throughout the series in various marketing materials as well as Hank's sales pitches. That's my purse, I don't know you, refers to a catchphrase from Season 4, Episode 2, Returning Japanese. Bobby learns this phrase in a women's self-defense class and uses it before kicking attackers in the groin. He employs this technique against several people, including his father, who is unable to discipline Bobby due to the pain.
Don't be afraid to shout it. That's my purse! Try it again.
That's my purse! I don't know you!
What are you doing? Give it!
Pocket sand.
Pocket sand is Dale Gribble's improvised self-defense technique, where he throws sand kept in his pocket into attackers' eyes. The phrase in action immediately became a popular internet meme, spreading to Reddit and gaining widespread recognition in meme culture beyond the show.
And you know what that means?
Cereal night.
Wrong. Cereal night extreme.
Shi Shi Sha.
Shi Shi Sha is Dale Gribble's signature vocal sound effect that he makes while performing what he believes are stealthy or impressive actions. The paranoid conspiracy theorist typically utters this onomatopoeic phrase when executing martial arts moves, demonstrating his self-perceived ninja skills, or when feeling particularly triumphant. The catchphrase became popular among fans, although it appears relatively infrequently in the actual show compared to how often it's referenced in fan discussions and memes.
Like this video and subscribe to Maker.
Peggy Hill works as a substitute Spanish teacher despite having extremely poor Spanish language skills. She consistently mispronounces words, uses incorrect grammar, and creates nonsensical sentences while maintaining absolute confidence in her fluency.
Don't worry, people naturally open up to me.
Sus osos son como placas.
Okay, I broke the ice, now you take it from here.
Strickland Propane is the propane and propane accessories dealership where Hank Hill works as assistant manager. Owned by Buck Strickland, the business serves as Hank's primary source of pride and identity throughout the series. Buck acts as Hank's morally questionable mentor and father figure, contrasting with Hank's ethical rigidity.
You should be proud, son. You're a seed.
I'm my daddy's seed.
Adult Swim bumpers featuring King of the Hill aired when the show was part of Adult Swim's programming block from 2009 to 2018.
King of the Hill is brought to you by Strickland Propane. And by Frank's Red Hot. I put that on everything.
These bumpers became iconic for their minimalist, surreal, and often unsettling aesthetic, featuring stark visuals, ambient sounds, cryptic text, or abstract imagery. King of the Hill aired extensively on Adult Swim during its reruns, meaning viewers would regularly see these distinctive bumpers before and after episodes. The contrast between the show's grounded suburban realism and Adult Swim's deliberately weird experimental bumper style created a jarring juxtaposition that became part of the viewing experience for many fans who discovered or re-watched the series through Adult Swim's broadcasts.
Damn it, damn it, Bobby, Bobby. That boy ain't right.
Tom Landry Middle School is the educational institution Bobby Hill attends throughout most of the series. Named after the legendary Dallas Cowboys coach, it reflects Arlen's Texas culture and serves as a setting for numerous storylines involving education, adolescence, and community issues. The school employs several recurring characters including Principal Moss, Coach Kleehammer, and various teachers who interact with both Bobby and his parents during parent-teacher conferences and school events.
Was that right?
I think so. Do I have any hickeys?
I don't see anything.
Narrow urethra is a medical condition that Hank Hill has, which is mentioned multiple times throughout the series. It's established that this condition made it difficult for Hank and Peggy to conceive Bobby, requiring multiple attempts. The condition serves as a recurring source of embarrassment for Hank when discussed, particularly in medical settings or when mentioned by others. It also represents one of several physical inadequacies that challenge Hank's sense of masculinity.
I feel very strange lately. Last night, I dreamt we had 20 children.
Peggy, you know I can't give you more children. I have a narrow urethra.
You think I drink juice and move hillbilly furniture around? I know you did. Nobody in my boy's house or even this neighborhood uses pomade. I can smell it on you. You have no proof. Who's gonna believe you? You just some crazy old man. Oh, yeah?
DaleTech refers to Dale Gribble's homemade technologies and self-proclaimed expertise in various fields, particularly surveillance and security. Throughout the series, Dale creates makeshift devices including bug detectors, security systems, and tracking equipment, often using household items. He frequently exaggerates the capabilities of these inventions, which typically malfunction or serve no practical purpose. His technological pursuits complement his conspiracy theories and paranoia about government surveillance.
Hello?
You don't know who I am, but I know where you live.
Dale? Is that you?
Oh, Hank, can I speak with Peggy?
Yellow Dale.
You don't know who I am.
Hank Hill's birthplace being New York contradicts his strong Texan identity. In episode Yankee Hanky, Season 4, Hank discovers he was born in a women's restroom at Yankee Stadium while his father was stationed in New York, devastating him as someone who prides himself on Texas values.
Place of birth. New York, New York?
The revelation temporarily causes an identity crisis, challenging Hank's self-perception until he reaffirms his cultural Texan identity despite his technical birthplace.
I tell you what, man, them Y2K, man, they know when the mainframe's gonna come crashing down on that grid, man. They look like a damn apocalypse now, man, and I'm lying down. The horror.
Boomhauer's voice in King of the Hill was inspired by a real angry voicemail Mike Judge received.
I got a voicemail once from this just deranged hillbilly guy. He thought the name of the show was Porky's Butthole. This is where I got the voice later for Boomhauer on King of the Hill. This guy, his message started out, he goes, I've been calling y'all for better than a month now. I grab at y'all every time that dang old Porky's butthole come on.
Judge found the caller's unique speech pattern amusing and used it as the basis for Boomhauer's distinctive mumbling speaking style.
Charcoal?
The Hills' preferred charcoal refers to instances where Hank Hill's family members express preference for charcoal grilling over his beloved propane. Despite Hank's unwavering devotion to propane and propane accessories as both his profession and passion, his wife Peggy and son Bobby have occasionally shown appreciation for charcoal's flavor or cooking method. This creates comedic tension as it directly contradicts Hank's fundamental beliefs about proper grilling technique and fuel superiority, undermining his expertise in his own household. Propane is a fictional video game featured in the episode Grand Theft Arlen. Created by college students as a Grand Theft Auto parody, the game centers around Hank as the protagonist in an open-world propane-themed environment where players throw exploding propane tanks as weapons and progress through ranks in the propane industry. Hank becomes uncharacteristically addicted to the single-player mode after discovering he can get promoted within the game, something he struggles with at his actual job. The game includes unrealistic propane tank explosions, various weapons including flamethrowers, and a leveling system culminating in an exclusive Commissioner mode. Peggy ultimately shuts down the entire gaming network to break Hank's addiction. Luanne's name origin refers to the character being named after the Luanne Platter, a signature value meal from Luby's cafeteria chain. The Luanne Platter is a popular combination platter served at Luby's that features a select entree, 2 sides, and a roll at a reduced price. The chain's signature value meal, the Luanne, was immortalized by Mike Judge when it came time to name Luanne Platter. On the show, the cafeteria is parodied as Luly's instead of Luby's.
I'm Luanne. Remember?
He has ADD, Luanne. He didn't get hit in the head with a coconut.
In the episode Racist Dog, Ladybird, Hank's bloodhound, bites Hank's black coworker, leading to accusations that the dog is racist. Hank is distraught by these allegations until Ladybird eventually bites a white repairman, which Hank uses as evidence that his dog isn't prejudiced, but simply dislikes people in uniform.
You're gonna wish you messed up somebody else's garage, you furry bastard.
Bandit is a wild raccoon Bobby befriends and shelters under the house. When Dale tries to remove it, Bandit scratches him and flees with Ladybird chasing after. Bobby ultimately shoots Bandit to protect Hank, thinking it's Rabid in an old Yeller parody scenario.
Bobby, don't!
Shoot her! Shoot her with the gun!
Bobby, no!
Yes, Bobby!
Ah!
I saw him coming. I think he was gonna bite you.
Nancy Gribble, Dale's wife and weather reporter for Channel 84, is speculated by some fans to be wearing a wig or be partially bald underneath her distinctive blonde hair. This theory stems from observations that her hairstyle rarely changes and maintains an almost unnatural perfect shape regardless of weather conditions or physical activity. In several episodes, her hair appears to remain completely intact even during windstorms she reports on. The theory gained traction when viewers noticed her hairline sometimes appears slightly misaligned in certain scenes, though the show's creators have never officially addressed this speculation. Buckley was Luanne's boyfriend who died in a propane explosion at the Megalo Mart in the Season 2 finale. His death deeply affected Luanne's character development, eventually leading to her attending beauty school. Buckley later appeared as an angel to both Luanne and Bobby in separate episodes, helping them through personal struggles. The storyline represented one of the show's more serious dramatic moments, contrasting with its usual comedic tone and demonstrating how the series could tackle themes of grief and moving forward. Cotton Hill died in Season 12 during Death Picks Cotton after falling in a Japanese restaurant. In the hospital, he refused treatment and tore up his will. His death was significant for being deliberately spiteful, as he died mid-sentence while insulting Hank. "You ain't my," never revealing where he wanted his ashes spread and refusing to reconcile with his son. He did, however, make peace with Peggy, whom he had previously tormented, showing a small moment of growth before his deliberately bitter end. Bill has an inappropriate romantic obsession with Peggy Hill despite her marriage to his best friend Hank. This manifests through constant sexual comments about her body, jealous reactions to their relationship, and attempts to insert himself into their marriage. The fixation creates ongoing tension as Bill must maintain his friendship with Hank while harboring these feelings, showcasing his desperate loneliness and inability to form healthy relationships.
I've got it! Bill wants to have a child, and Hank's urethra is too narrow to have another child. Ergo, Bill should inseminate Peggy. Everybody's happy. Ow!
In a season 4 episode, Flush with Power, Hank Hill meets then Texas Governor George W. Bush and is deeply disappointed by his limp handshake.
I need your vote, partner.
Well, you got it, Governor Bush.
This creates a personal crisis for Hank, a staunch Republican, causing him to question his political convictions and temporarily become undecided in the 2000 election. The scene represents a rare moment where Hank's unwavering conservative values are challenged by something as seemingly trivial yet personally significant as handshake firmness, which he considers a measure of character.
What kind of lefty hootenanny is this?
Would it kill a tree if she wore a bra?
Lenore is Bill's ex-wife whose departure devastated him and became the defining trauma of his character. Bill frequently wails her name in exaggerated, drawn-out fashion when discussing their failed marriage or his loneliness. Her abandonment transformed Bill from a confident military man into the depressed, self-destructive person seen throughout the series. She returns in one episode, temporarily rekindling Bill's hopes before leaving again, reinforcing the cycle of his emotional dependency and making her central to understanding his character's psychology.
I'm sorry. I must have a bad case of barber's ear. I can't hear a word you say until you dress me as Sergeant Oaktree.
Rusty Shackleford is the pseudonym Dale Gribble uses when trying to avoid government detection or conducting activities he considers sensitive. The name comes from a third-grade classmate who Dale believes died, making it untraceable.
Dale Gribble?
Maybe. Who's asking?
Rusty Shackleford.
What?
It's me, Dale.
But that's impossible. Rusty died in 3rd grade.
I didn't die. I moved. You need to stop using my name, Dale.
Dale frequently uses this alias when ordering pizza, signing petitions, making complaints, or engaging in conspiracy-related activities. He often introduces himself as Rusty by throwing pocket sand as a distraction and fleeing.
It's that same old club of Rome zero population bull dink. They want to whittle us down so we can't keep a standing army. That's when the Chinese will come marching in.
Kahn is a neighbor to the Hill family, originally from Laos, a small Southeast Asian country. His nationality is a running joke in the series as other characters, especially Hank, struggle to understand where Laos is, often mistaking him as Chinese or Japanese.
He's Laotian, ain't you, Mr. Kahn?
Foreign dubs refers to international versions of King of the Hill that were translated and dubbed into different languages for global audiences. The show received notable adaptations in languages including Spanish, French, Italian, German, and Japanese. Some foreign dubs became known for significant localization changes, particularly the Japanese version, which altered cultural references and jokes to better suit Japanese audiences. These international versions sometimes created distinctive interpretations of characters. Hank's stern personality and accent were often modified to match cultural expectations in different regions. The success and reception of these dubs varied widely across countries, with some becoming cult favorites in their respective markets.
よタバコなんてやめろよ。お前のそんな格好見てると薬中みたいに見えるぜ。それに吐いた煙のニコチンでこっちが頭痛くなっちまう。なあ、もうやめろってばよ。
おい、ハンク、確か禁煙したはずだろ。
よくぞ改心したな、兄弟。この日が来ると思ってたよ。
デール、夜な気持ち悪い。
Debbie Grund was Buck Strickland's lover who died in a bizarre accident. After discovering Buck was having an affair with his secretary, she hid in a dumpster inside a Mega Low-Mart box with a shotgun, planning to kill them both. While attempting to exit the box, she accidentally discharged the shotgun, killing herself. Her body was found in the dumpster behind Sugarfoot's restaurant. Initially, the police suspected Buck of murder, but the true cause was eventually discovered to be her own mishandling of the weapon. Good Hank, GH, is Cotton Hill's infant son from his second marriage to Didi. Cotton deliberately named him Good Hank to distinguish him from his first son Hank, implying his adult son was deficient.
I'm calling him Hank. I always wanted a boy named Hank.
Dad, Hank is my name.
Not anymore. I'm taking it back. He's Hank.
You can't take away a grown man's name.
All right, I'll call him GH. Good Hank.
This naming choice reflects Cotton's continual criticism of Hank and his desire for a do-over at fatherhood. GH serves as both a source of Cotton's pride and a tool to antagonize Hank. Bobby smoked a whole carton of cigarettes refers to the Season 1 episode, Keeping Up with Our Joneses, where Hank catches Bobby smoking. As punishment, Hank forces Bobby to smoke an entire carton of cigarettes to make him sick and discouraged from smoking again.
You are gonna smoke this entire carton.
Huh? I thought you said you didn't want me to smoke anymore.
Oh, this'll take care of that, believe me. I wish my daddy'd had the parenting skills to do this for me, I tell you what.
This backfires when the entire Hill family relapses into nicotine addiction. Snipe hunting episode refers to Order of the Straight Arrow, where Hank and friends take their sons camping with the scout-like group. They send the boys on a traditional snipe hunt prank, but Bobby unexpectedly catches an endangered whooping crane. Animated in Korea refers to the production practice where King of the Hill, like many American animated shows, outsourced its animation work to South Korean studios to reduce costs. While the writing, voice acting, and pre-production occurred in the United States, the labor-intensive process of creating the actual animation frames was completed by Korean animation studios. This was standard industry practice during the show's 1997 to 2010 run, with studios like Rough Draft Korea commonly handling animation for American television productions.
Can me and Bobby bring life preservers?
If you want to be sissies.
He said yes!
Jeff Boomhauer is a long-standing character known for his fast, mumbled speech pattern and mysterious professional life. Throughout most of the series, his occupation remains undisclosed, leading to fan speculation. In the series finale, To Sirloin with Love, it's finally revealed that Boomhauer is actually a Texas Ranger when the camera pans across his bedroom, showing his badge and ID on his dresser. This revelation explains his frequent availability, comfortable lifestyle despite rarely being seen working, and adds depth to his character as someone who's been quietly serving in law enforcement all along.
You're talking about Kahn? Our neighbor, Kahn?
Yes, he is a completely different person. And in one day, my liking of him went up from not very much to somewhat.
Kahn is depicted as having bipolar disorder in the series. In the Season 12 episode, Just Another Manic Kahn Day, it's revealed he secretly takes medication for his condition. When he stops taking his pills, he becomes extremely energetic and impulsive, completing numerous neighborhood projects.
Say, did you know Hank is an anagram for Kahn? H-A-N-K-K-A-H-N. Look like we destined to be best friends, right?
The episode portrays him cycling between manic episodes, heightened energy, productivity, irritability, and depressive ones.
Kahn?
Sadness covers me like a blanket. Tuck me in, let me die.
His condition provides context for his previous erratic behavior throughout the series, including his sudden mood swings, grandiose ambitions, and intense emotional reactions.
I have so much pep. We're all friends. See? Friends!
Hank ultimately convinces Kahn to resume his medication despite temporarily enjoying his manic creativity. Cotton Hill frequently and proudly claims he killed 50 men during his service in the Pacific Theater. He specifically emphasizes the exact number, 50 men, and often mentions it unprompted, making it his defining war story. The claim is delivered with unwavering confidence despite Cotton's tendency to exaggerate, and becomes a darkly humorous running gag throughout the series as he repeats it across numerous episodes, usually while criticizing his son or reminiscing about his military service.
You must be very proud, Mr. Hill.
Of course I am. I killed 50 men. I killed 50 men. I killed 50 men.
Peggy Hill's unusually large feet, women's size 16.5, are a recurring physical characteristic and occasional plot point in the series. Her feet size is both a source of personal insecurity and the subject of several jokes throughout the show's run.
Senora, I have an Italian mock alligator you are going to love. A size 16 for Senora Ibanez. Triple E.
The Dautrives were once a prestigious Louisiana Cajun family with French aristocratic roots, now in decline. Bill's ancestral home is a dilapidated mansion in Louisiana where his cousin Gilbert still lives, maintaining family traditions. The family has a history of Dautrive men suffering mental decline, explaining Bill's depression. Their legacy includes the family's secret hot sauce recipe and a curse that makes the men weak and impotent. The family's decay parallels Bill's own life trajectory from high school football star to divorced, depressed military barber. In the episode Hank's Back, Hank is diagnosed with low testosterone and prescribed a testosterone supplement. After beginning treatment, Hank experiences increased aggression, impulsiveness, and heightened sexual drive, causing him to behave uncharacteristically, including buying a motorcycle and losing his temper easily. The treatment ultimately causes Hank to develop excess body hair and other adverse reactions before he stops taking it and returns to normal.
Boy, when I was his age, I was so girl crazy they called me Ricardo Montalban. Hey, Dale, there's your wife's,
healer.
Yeah, John Redcorn.
John Redcorn carries on a 14-year affair with Nancy Gribble, resulting in Joseph's birth. Despite Joseph's obvious Native American features matching Redcorn's, Dale Gribble remains completely oblivious that he isn't Joseph's biological father. This creates one of the show's longest-running instances of dramatic irony, as nearly everyone in the neighborhood knows the truth except Dale.
Well, what about my supper?
I left a carton of cigarettes on the table.
In the episode Peggy's Fan Fair, Season 4, Peggy writes a country song about propane called Propane Propane, which she shows to Randy Travis at a meet and greet. Later, she hears Travis perform a nearly identical song called Propane Girl on stage, taking full credit for writing it. When confronted, Travis denies stealing it, claiming similarities are coincidental. Despite Peggy's accusations, Travis maintains his innocence throughout, but viewers know Peggy is telling the truth since we saw her original composition. Peggy developed narcissism refers to her exhibiting classic narcissistic traits, maintaining an inflated self-image despite clear limitations, particularly her delusional Spanish fluency when she barely speaks elementary level. She constantly seeks validation, dismisses criticism, lacks empathy, and genuinely believes she's exceptional at teaching and cooking when she's demonstrably poor. Her narcissism manifests through manipulative behavior, inability to admit mistakes, and viewing herself as victimized when others don't recognize her supposed talents. Whether this represents character degradation or was always her personality remains debated.
What a bitch.
Hank Hill displays xenophobic tendencies throughout the series, particularly toward Asian cultures and immigrants. His discomfort with Kahn and family is evident from their first meeting, where he assumes they're Chinese rather than Laotian.
So are you Chinese or Japanese?
I live in California last 20 years, but first come from Laos.
Huh?
Laos. We Laotian.
The ocean? What ocean?
We are Laotian. From Laos, stupid.
So are you Chinese or Japanese?
Oh.
Hank often makes comments like "those people" and struggles with unfamiliar customs, foods, and accents. His prejudice extends to other cultures too, shown in his anxiety about visiting Mexico and his general suspicion of anything foreign.
It's the Swiss Army knife of grills, but made by a country that's not afraid to fight a war.
While the series sometimes portrays this as character growth when Hank overcomes these biases in specific episodes, his xenophobic attitudes consistently return as a character trait. Dusty Hill refers to the late bassist for ZZ Top, who appeared as himself in King of the Hill Season 11, Episode 9. In the episode, Hank and the guys find him drinking at a bar. The reference celebrates both Texas music culture and the show's practice of featuring Texas celebrities as guest voices. Throughout the series, Hank Hill's employment timeline at Strickland Propane contains a notable continuity error. In some episodes, Hank mentions working in propane for 15 years, while in others he claims 20 years of experience in the industry. This discrepancy is never addressed or reconciled, creating an inconsistent professional timeline. The contradiction appears across different seasons without explanation, making it impossible to determine his actual tenure selling propane and propane accessories. Tilly Hill, Hank's mother, enables Cotton's abuse while employing her own emotional manipulation and guilt-tripping tactics. Her Southern Belle persona masks passive-aggressive behavior, playing victim when confronted, and undermining Hank through backhanded comments. She failed to protect Hank from Cotton's mistreatment and contributed to his anxiety and people-pleasing tendencies. Unlike Cotton's overt abuse, Tilly's subtler psychological damage is often overlooked by viewers who dismiss her as merely eccentric rather than recognizing her harmful parenting.
Daddy loves you whether you get your straight arrow patch or not.
Can you imagine how I'd have turned out if my dad had loved me no matter what?
Jane Cult refers to the pseudo-religious group that recruited Luanne in the episode Fun with Jane and Jane. The cult targeted vulnerable college students, requiring them to surrender possessions and follow strict rules while living communally. Peggy infiltrated the group to rescue Luanne, but ironically thrived within its hierarchy, while Luanne became disillusioned. The episode satirizes cult recruitment tactics and exploitation of naive individuals through love bombing and isolation techniques. Boomhauer is characterized by his nearly unintelligible mumbling and rapid southern drawl throughout the series. Despite this signature speech pattern, there are rare moments when he speaks in a perfectly clear, standard dialect. These instances typically occur when he's in professional settings, like when revealed to be a Texas Ranger in the finale, making important phone calls, or speaking to women he's attempting to charm.
For God's sakes, Hank, act like an adult, man. And keep it down, guys, will you? I'm trying to get through an article on vintage Camaros, and I've been on the same dang page for 20 minutes.
This occasional clarity serves as a subtle indication that his normal mumbling might be partially intentional rather than a speech impediment. Joseph design change refers to the dramatic visual transformation of Joseph Gribble between seasons 4 and 5 of King of the Hill. Joseph Dale and Nancy Gribble's son, though biologically John Redcorn's, went from a short, childlike appearance to suddenly becoming tall with a deepened voice, reflecting an extreme puberty change. This abrupt design shift was jarring compared to Bobby Hill's more gradual aging, and emphasized Joseph's Native American heritage from his biological father, making his true parentage increasingly obvious to viewers while Dale remained oblivious.
I have Joseph in my office. I need a parent to come down and pick him up.
What happened? What's wrong with my baby boy? I'm coming! Protect him until I get there! Joseph! Keys! Joseph!
This entry references a Season 4 episode where Peggy discovers photos of her feet are being used on a fetish website. After initial disgust, she begins selling foot photos to make money. The plotline explores both internet privacy concerns and Peggy's conflicted feelings about capitalizing on unwanted attention. The website domain peggysfeet.com was fictional in the show, but became a running joke in the fandom. The episode was notable for addressing adult themes in a mainstream animated series. John Redcorn, a Native American spiritual healer and massage therapist, The entry suggests his massage practice might be a front for selling sexual services to female clients. While never explicitly confirmed in the show, his character is portrayed as sexually attractive to multiple women, particularly those seeking his healing sessions. His therapy sessions with Nancy were directly used as cover for their 14-year affair, leading some fans to theorize his business model actually involves exchanging sexual favors for money, matching the definition of a gigolo.
Wow. Pretty keen, huh?
The Lutefisk Arsonist refers to when the Hills Church burns down after a potluck dinner in the episode Good Hill Hunting. Initially, Bobby is blamed for the fire, but it's later revealed that the lutefisk, a Nordic dish made with lye-soaked fish, spontaneously combusted due to improper preparation. The combustible properties of improperly prepared lutefisk caused the fire, making the dish itself the arsonist.
You're the one who parks them in front of the TV and makes them watch all them Muppets. They got frogs kissing pigs. What the hell did they think was gonna happen?
In episode Luanne Virgin 2.0, Peggy admits to Luanne that she wasn't a virgin on her wedding night, despite the conservative values typically associated with the Hill family.
I never even kissed a boy until I was 20.
In the Season 4 episode, Won't You Pee My Neighbor?, Buddhist monks visit Arlen and identify Bobby as the reincarnation of Lama Sanglug. Bobby passes several tests suggesting he might indeed be the reincarnation, including identifying Sanglug's possessions and showing natural meditation abilities. The monks want Bobby to return to Tibet, causing conflict with Hank. The episode ends ambiguously when Bobby chooses to stay with his family, but the final scene shows him using the llama's umbrella, implying the connection might be genuine.
Hey!
Peggy, not in front of the BOY.
Hank has Bill tattooed on the back of his head, discovered when Peggy shaves his hair off. The tattoo was the result of a drunken mistake from his past that he had completely forgotten about. Jody Strickland is Buck Strickland's illegitimate son, who appears in the episode The Good Buck. Buck initially hires Jody at Strickland Propane without revealing their relationship. Jody's existence represents Buck's moral failings and womanizing past, creating tension when Hank discovers the truth. The revelation challenges Hank's idealized view of his boss, as Buck proves to be an absent father who abandons his responsibilities. Jody eventually leaves after realizing Buck hired him only out of guilt rather than genuine paternal interest.
I've got plenty of emotions. I was afraid she was gonna hug me. I was worried that she wouldn't leave, and I was happy when it was over.
Bug Gribble, Dale's father, was revealed to be homosexual in the episode My Own Private Rodeo. Bug abandoned Dale on his wedding day after having an affair with a gay rodeo performer named Juan Pedro. Dale remained unaware of his father's sexuality for years until Hank and the others tracked Bug down to invite him to Dale and Nancy's vow renewal ceremony. The revelation ultimately led to father and son reconciling, though Dale incorrectly believed his father was working undercover as a government agent at a gay rodeo. Hoyt Platter, Luanne's absent father, displays predatory behavior toward young women throughout his limited appearances. The show hints at this through his inappropriate interactions with teenage girls, his abandonment of his daughter when she was young, and subtle implications about his past relationships. His character serves as an explanation for her psychological issues and poor judgment with men. Episodes featuring Hoyt show him making uncomfortable advances toward younger women and displaying manipulative behavior patterns typical of predators. The series never explicitly confirms this, but uses coded language and situational context to suggest his predatory nature, making it a darker underlying element that explains family dysfunction.
What you gonna do, huh? Huh?
I'll tell you what I'm going to do. You're on my hard-hitting expose series, To Catch a Bully. Consider yourself hit hard.
He caught another one.
Despite his conservative demeanor, Hank Hill routinely demonstrates behaviors that conflict with his apparent straight-laced personality. He smokes marijuana, unknowingly in one instance, deliberately in another, drinks excessively on occasion, has experimented with cocaine, engages with sex workers, though innocently, participates in insider trading, and even shoplifts. The character regularly commits minor crimes and bends rules while maintaining his outward persona of strict moral uprightness, creating an underlying hypocrisy that the show subtly explores throughout its run.
What the... I'm gonna kick your ass.
Minh displays several behaviors consistent with obsessive-compulsive disorder throughout the series. She is frequently shown meticulously cleaning and organizing her home to an extreme degree, particularly when preparing for social gatherings. Episodes highlight her need for perfect symmetry in household arrangements and garden layouts. She becomes visibly distressed when her routines are disrupted or when things appear out of order. Though never explicitly diagnosed in the show, her perfectionism extends beyond cultural expectations, manifesting in rigid behaviors, counting rituals, and excessive concern with cleanliness that often creates tension with her more relaxed husband, Kahn, and daughter, Connie.
Joseph! What's going on? Oh, you're so cute. Kahn gonna get a big kick out of this.
Bobby's middle name is Jeffrey, which is the same as Boomhauer's first name. This connection suggests that Hank and Peggy may have named their son after their longtime friend, though this is never explicitly stated in the show. Boomhauer's first name, Jeff, is rarely mentioned throughout the series, making this naming connection an easily overlooked detail. Bobby and Connie are shown to weigh exactly the same despite their drastically different body types. This is revealed in the episode Take Me Out of the Ball Game, Season 3, Episode 13, when the two are placed on opposite sides of a seesaw and balance perfectly. Bobby has a stocky build and is often teased about his weight, while Connie is portrayed with a slim figure. This surprising physical detail adds an interesting layer to their relationship dynamic.
Whoa!
Junichiro is Hank's Japanese half-brother, fathered by Cotton Hill during his military service in World War II. Introduced in the Season 6 episode Returning Japanese, Junichiro remarkably shares many of Hank's physical traits, mannerisms, and even his narrow urethra despite being raised in a completely different culture. He works as a dedicated robot designer in Japan, paralleling Hank's commitment to propane. Their meeting revealed that many of Hank's seemingly learned behaviors are actually genetic traits inherited from Cotton. Hank of the Hill is a name variation meme based on Hank Hill. It combines his first name with the show's title rather than his surname, creating a recursive joke. The phrase gained popularity in internet communities and is often used ironically when referring to Hank, particularly in image macros and shitposts that intentionally distort or misrepresent aspects of the show.
Well, I think it was worth it for the best lawn in Arlen.
Yes, all right, you win. Best lawn. Tomorrow, maybe we compare salaries.
This entry refers to Brittany Murphy, the voice actress for Luanne Platter. Murphy died on December 20th, 2009, at age 32 from pneumonia, anemia, and multiple drug intoxication. Her death was unexpected and occurred when she was still active in her career. After her passing, the character of Luanne was written around and eventually phased out rather than recast with a new voice actress. Rest in Peace Dale refers to the death of Johnny Hardwick in August 2023, the voice actor who portrayed Dale Gribble throughout the series' entire run from 1997 to 2010. Hardwick's passing marked the loss of one of the show's most iconic performances, as Dale's distinctive paranoid conspiracy theorist personality and nasal voice were inseparable from Hardwick's interpretation of the character. His death represented a significant moment for the King of the Hill community, as fans mourned both the actor and the end of his decades-long portrayal of the beloved character. John Redcorn fathered a daughter named Kate with a woman named Charlene, revealed in the episode untitled Blake McCormick Project. While most fans know about his son Joseph from his affair with Nancy Gribble, his daughter is less discussed. Redcorn only discovered Kate's existence when she approached him as a fan of his band Big Mountain Fudge Cake. In the two-part episodes, Hanky Panky and High Anxiety, Buck Strickland's secretary and mistress Debbie Grund is found dead in a dumpster. When police investigate, Buck attempts to frame his employee Hank by planting evidence, including hiding his shotgun that was used in the crime. Buck later claims Hank had an affair with Debbie, further implicating him. The investigation eventually reveals Debbie accidentally killed herself while trying to murder Buck and his new mistress with a shotgun hidden in a Megalomart bag of nachos, which discharged when she climbed into the dumpster. In Season 4's Peggy Hill, The Decline and Fall, Peggy accidentally kidnaps a Mexican child named Lupe while chaperoning a school trip to Mexico. Due to her extremely poor Spanish skills, Peggy misunderstands instructions and brings Lupe back across the border, believing she's one of her students. She's subsequently arrested and put on trial in Mexico for kidnapping. Hank ultimately proves Peggy's innocence by demonstrating that her Spanish is so terrible she couldn't have understood what she was doing, highlighting both her language incompetence and cultural naivety. Hank accidentally purchases crack cocaine while attempting to buy fishing supplies. Due to his naivety about drug terminology, he misinterprets the dealer's slang about rocks as fishing-related equipment. The misunderstanding occurs because Hank applies his innocent suburban perspective to street drug language, creating an absurd situation where he unknowingly engages in a drug transaction while believing he's making a legitimate sporting goods purchase. Operation Infinite Walrus was a fictional Cold War military experiment that Dale discovers in Bill's Army files. According to the conspiracy theory, the Army supposedly drugged soldiers from 1982 to 1984 to create Arctic commandos capable of fighting Soviet invaders at polar ice caps. The experimental drug was designed to cause weight gain for heat-retaining blubber, excessive body hair for insulation, and hibernation abilities. Dale believes this explains Bill's obesity, baldness, and hairy body, presenting it as evidence of government experimentation on unwitting soldiers. However, the files reveal Bill received only a placebo, making the entire premise false, though Dale initially misunderstands placebo as the name of the drug itself. Company Man cut ending refers to a deleted scene from the episode The Company Man that was removed from television broadcasts but included on the DVD release. In the aired version, the episode concludes with Hank losing a major propane account after getting into a physical altercation with the demanding client Mr. Holloway. The cut ending reveals that Mrs. Holloway is actually the real owner of the business account, and she awards the contract to Strickland Propane because she feels comfortable with Hank's genuine Texas family over the stereotypical cowboy performance her husband demanded. This alternate conclusion completely reverses the episode's outcome, transforming Hank's apparent professional failure into an unexpected victory that rewards his authentic character over his attempts to pander to misconceptions about Texas culture. This entry suggests that Hank's father, Cotton Hill, fathered additional offspring beyond his known sons. These fan theories stem from Cotton's established pattern of womanizing, multiple marriages, and sexual encounters throughout his life, particularly during his military service and various relationships shown in the series. Evidence cited includes his boastful nature about past conquests, unexplained references to women from his past, and his general disregard for commitment, leading fans to speculate that illegitimate children or abandoned families could exist that were never addressed in the show's narrative.
Good morning. I hopes we wasn't too loud last night.
Fan theories suggest Bill is Bobby's biological father rather than Hank. These theories stem from Bobby's lack of physical resemblance to Hank, his artistic and non-athletic interests that contrast sharply with Hank's personality, and his closer behavioral alignment with Bill's sensitive, emotional nature. The theories point to Bill and Peggy's past romantic relationship in high school, suggesting a possible affair or encounter that resulted in Bobby's conception. Supporters note Bobby's rounder facial features and softer build mirror Bill's appearance more than Hank's lanky frame. The theory gains traction from Bill's consistently protective and affectionate behavior toward Bobby, often exceeding typical family-friend boundaries, and Bobby's natural comfort with Bill's unconventional lifestyle and interests. Dale's wife Nancy had a 14-year affair with John Redcorn, resulting in Joseph being Redcorn's biological son. While Dale appears oblivious despite obvious signs, some fans theorize Dale actually knows about the affair. Evidence includes Dale's extreme paranoia about government conspiracies while missing obvious infidelity, occasional comments suggesting awareness, and his deep devotion to Joseph regardless of biology. The theory proposes Dale maintains ignorance to preserve his family, especially his relationship with Joseph, whom he genuinely loves as his son.
I hope you get out soon.
I will. Due to budget cuts, they redefined what constitutes insanity. Guess who squeaked by?
Bill displays behaviors throughout the series that some fans interpret as signs of gender dysphoria. In multiple episodes, Bill shows comfort and happiness when presenting as female. He dresses as a woman during a flood evacuation, enjoys wearing his ex-wife's clothes, and creates the female persona Lenore during a Christmas breakdown. While never explicitly confirmed, these recurring instances of cross-dressing coupled with his emotional response to female presentation have led some viewers to theorize that Bill experiences gender identity conflict.
Bill? What are you doing here?
Well, I know you think of me as a pretty together guy, but sometimes I need a little help. Just 6 nights a week for 20 years.
Hank is Mr. Anderson refers to the theory that Hank Hill and Tom Anderson from Beavis and Butthead are essentially the same character. Both created by Mike Judge, Anderson and Hank share identical personality traits, conservative values, practical mindsets, and perpetual frustration with younger generations. Anderson deals with Beavis and Butthead's chaos, while Hank contends with Bobby's non-conformity and his neighbor's eccentricities. The physical resemblance, speech patterns, and suburban middle-aged everyman archetype are nearly identical between the characters, suggesting Judge recycled and refined Anderson's character concept when developing Hank for the more family-oriented King of the Hill.
Oh, I tell you what, you can lead a jackass to water, but you can't make him drink.
Didi Hill is Cotton's much younger second wife and Hank's stepmother. Her exact age is never explicitly stated in the series, creating fan speculation. Based on her behavior, appearance, and employment at the Arlen Hooters equivalent Hotties, she's likely in her 20s or early 30s, while Cotton is in his 70s. This significant age gap, and Cotton's treatment of her, is often played for dark comedy in the series, highlighting Cotton's sexism and Didi's naivety. Peggy's mother appears differently across episodes with contradictory characterizations. Early episodes establish her as supportive and loving toward Peggy, but later appearances show her as cold, critical, and emotionally distant. Her physical appearance also changes between episodes. Additionally, details about Peggy's childhood and relationship with her mother shift inconsistently, sometimes depicting a warm upbringing, other times suggesting neglect or emotional abuse. These continuity errors create confusion about Peggy's family background and psychological development throughout the series.
Start puffing, boy. We gotta get through 200 of these.
Pygmalion urban legends refer to persistent fan claims about the Season 7 episode Pygmalion, where psychotic pork magnate Trip Larson dies off-screen in a meat processing plant. The legend states that in the original 2003 broadcast, Tripp's bloodied corpse was briefly visible hanging on a meat hook in the background before being edited out of reruns. Despite widespread belief in this alternate version, a 2022 recording of the original airing confirmed the corpse was never shown. Tripp's death remained off-screen even in the first broadcast. The myth likely stems from the episode's unusually dark tone and violent content, which was so extreme it was delayed from Season 5 to Season 7.
Sometimes men aren't interested in what they say they're interested in. You think he could be interested in something more than an interview?
Oh, you mean sex?
No. Yes.
Hal is a one-episode character voiced by Drew Carey, who appears in Not in My Back Ho. The theory suggests Hal could be Hank's brother based on their identical physical appearance and nearly identical personalities. Both are quiet, stoic men with shared interests and behaviors who instantly bonded over tool knowledge and gas station conversations. Their similarities were so striking that Dale and Bill became jealous of how quickly Hank formed a close friendship with this virtual mirror image of himself, leading fans to speculate that only family genetics could explain such an uncanny resemblance in both looks and temperament. This theory proposes that Dooley, one of Boomhauer's nephews, is actually the brother of Buckley, Luanne's deceased boyfriend who died in a propane explosion. The theory stems from physical similarities between the characters, their shared connection to Texas, and some fans' interpretation of timeline inconsistencies. Both characters have similar facial features and body types, leading some viewers to speculate they could be related. The theory suggests Dooley might be Buckley's younger brother, who was never mentioned due to the tragic circumstances of Buckley's death, or that the family connection was simply never explored in the show's narrative. This entry refers to Joseph learning about his biological connection to John Redcorn in the episode Spin the Choice. After Joseph calls John Redcorn a cannibal freak and storms off, Nancy scolds Joseph and tells him, "It's time we had a talk." At the episode's end, Joseph tells John Redcorn, "My mom told me."
My mom told me. She told me a lot of things.
Really? Like what?
How the white man stole your land and your heritage. We're all children of the earth, so in a weird way, we're related.
Lucky Kleinschmidt and Buck Strickland attend the same church congregation. This connection links Luanne's boyfriend with Hank's boss through their shared religious community, creating an indirect relationship between the Hill and Strickland families beyond just Hank's employment. The detail appears briefly in episodes, but establishes that both characters share the same place of worship despite their different social circles and lifestyles. Wayne Trotter is Peggy's former best male friend who had sex with her to determine if he was gay. In Peggy's confession to a support group, she reveals that Wayne sat her down at Pier 1, told her he thought he might be gay, and they decided the only way to know for sure was to test him sexually.
Did you fix him?
Oh no, Luanne. He was not broken. Just gay. Very, very gay.
This entry refers to the absence of Cotton's second wife Didi and infant son Good Hank during Cotton's death episode. Neither appear or are mentioned despite this being Cotton's final episode. Cotton alludes to driving them away, stating, "I've successfully burned all my bridges. Nobody loves me, and I don't love nobody," indicating he chose to die alone after alienating even his youngest child who he previously showed affection for. Didi's later appearance reveals she has moved on and is marrying someone else, confirming Cotton succeeded in pushing away his immediate family before death.
How have you been?
Excellent. I'm getting married to a wealthy professional wrestler. Anyway, this box is for you. Sorry I'm so late getting it to you. You have no idea how difficult it has been to grieve and fall madly in love at the same time. Now I have to go.
A 35-second Fox Kids promotional bumper from 1998 featuring Hank convincing the Silver Surfer to abandon the power cosmic in favor of propane as an alternative energy source. The ad combined footage from the Silver Surfer animated series with original dialogue voiced by Mike Judge, ending with Silver Surfer sporting a propane tank on his board and wearing a Strickland Propane t-shirt. The bizarre crossover has gained notoriety as one of the strangest Marvel-related advertisements ever created, often referenced in internet memes about unexpected crossovers.
Mr. Surfer, have you ever considered propane as an alternative energy source for that board of yours? With a little retooling, I could get it to work. Tell you what I'm gonna do. Being that you're my neighbor and I like you, I'm gonna give you the new neighbor discount and a free t-shirt. So what do you say? Just think, with repeat business like that, I could eventually be supplying propane galaxy-wide.
This entry refers to the seemingly supernatural good fortune that consistently saves the Hill family from serious consequences. Throughout the series, they repeatedly find themselves in potentially disastrous situations: financial ruin, legal trouble, social humiliation, or physical danger, only to be rescued by improbable coincidences, last-minute revelations, or lucky breaks. This pattern occurs so frequently, it appears almost orchestrated by a higher power protecting them from realistic consequences of their actions and circumstances. Kahn was explicitly diagnosed with bipolar disorder in Season 12's Square-Footed Monster, explaining his manic behavior throughout the series. The Iceberg entry suggests both Kahn and his wife Minh exhibit additional undiagnosed mental health issues. Kahn displays narcissistic traits, status obsession, and volatile mood swings beyond typical bipolar symptoms. Minh shows signs of anxiety, emotional detachment, and potentially complex trauma from her refugee experience escaping Laos. Their dysfunctional relationship dynamics and treatment of daughter Connie further evidence deeper psychological issues. The show hints at but never directly addresses these additional mental health dimensions.
Hey, Peeping Tom! After speed walk, I take shower. See you in half an hour.
Ladybird Hill, you're beautiful.
Ladybird replacement theories stem from an unresolved subplot in the episode Returning Japanese. While the Hills are away in Japan, Luanne is tasked with watching Ladybird. When she finds the dog unresponsive, actually just sleeping, she assumes Ladybird is dead and brings home an identical bloodhound from the pound as a replacement. After removing both dogs' collars, Ladybird suddenly wakes up and begins playing with the other dog, leaving Luanne unable to tell which bloodhound is which. The episode ends without resolving which dog is actually Ladybird, with Luanne stating she'll tell Hank she learned cloning at school. This subplot is never mentioned again in the series, leading fans to theorize whether the Hills unknowingly kept the wrong dog for the remainder of the show. The theory suggests that any behavioral changes or inconsistencies in Ladybird throughout later seasons could be evidence that the family had been living with the replacement dog all along.
Goodbye, Ladybird. Oh, you look so sad. Show me that smile now, come on.
Dale's catchphrase coincidentally matches the Russian abbreviation for United States of America, which translates to USA, USA. This creates unintentional patriotic meaning given Dale's fluency in Russian and conspiracy theorist persona. Bill works as a barber on a military base. The theory suggests his documented depression and mental health issues have resulted in the Army limiting his duties to barbering rather than active combat or other military roles. His psychological instability makes him unsuitable for standard positions, so the Army keeps him in a safe role cutting hair where his mental state won't compromise missions or endanger others.
I'm too bad! I'm too bad! Hang on, fellas! Help is on the way!
Boomhauer has only 9 toes, having lost his left pinky toe during his time in the Straight Arrow organization. This detail is revealed in the episode Straight as an Arrow as a throwaway line, representing one of the many subtle character details scattered throughout the series that fans pick up on, but are never elaborated upon.
Feel me out this hand, Jason. I'm about to bust.
This entry refers to a Season 3 promotional segment where Fox created a fake news report threatening to relocate the Hill family from Texas to Beverly Hills. The mock controversy featured network executives demanding Hank move to California, with Hank refusing and declaring his loyalty to Texas. Fox's fictional president Peter Ross escalated the threat by claiming they would kill off Luanne, Buckley, or Chuck Mangione if Hank didn't comply, referencing a fire that had already killed 3 unnamed characters. The promo positioned this as an ongoing summer controversy, likely serving as a tongue-in-cheek marketing stunt that played on the show's Texas identity and Hank's unwavering regional pride.
From deep in the heart of Texas to the hills of Beverly comes a controversy that has King of the Hill fans in an uproar. Will the Hills move to Hollywood? Texas native Hank Hill.
I was born in Texas, I'll die a Texan, and in between I'll live in Texas. The show ain't moving, and that's final.
Network President Peter Roth had this respond.
We have not killed Hank Hill. There were 3 others caught in that fire, and as long as Hank reconsiders them, Luanne or Buckley or Chuck Mangione will die.
Stay tuned all summer for updates on the controversy.
Plus One Animation was a South Korean animation studio responsible for outsourced animation work on early seasons of the show. American animated series often contract overseas studios for cost-effective production, with Plus One handling the labor-intensive process of turning storyboards into finished animation. The studio worked on numerous episodes before animation duties later shifted to other companies. King of the Hill exists in the same fictional universe as The Simpsons, Bob's Burgers, and Family Guy through multiple crossover references. Additionally, character designs and animation styles across these shows share similarities due to shared production staff and animation studios. These crossovers are considered part of Fox Animation's loose continuity, though the connections aren't emphasized in main storylines.
We drove 2,000 miles for this?
The television series' final episode, To Sirloin with Love, was not actually the last episode produced. While it aired on September 13, 2009 as the intended series finale, 4 additional episodes had been produced but remained unaired. These episodes, The Boy Can't Help It, Bill Gathers Moss, When Joseph Met Laurie, and Just Another Manic Con Day, were broadcast months later in syndication. This created a disjointed viewing experience since the emotional closure of the show was followed by random episodes that took place chronologically earlier in the series' timeline.
It looks like this is the last one.
Oh, you're just getting started, Bobby. You'll be grilling your whole life.
Just like you.
Yep.
Yep.
This theory suggests Peggy deliberately provoked Cotton into losing his will to live through psychological manipulation during his final hospital stay. Cotton dies from complications after a slip-and-fall accident, but some believe Peggy exploited his pride and stubbornness as revenge for years of abuse, saying things designed to make him feel defeated and worthless, ultimately contributing to his death by making him give up rather than fight to recover.
Let Topsy get a look at you.
Okay.
I'm not gonna bite you.
He can't. Had all his teeth yanked out of his head because they was green.
And yet a little closer.
Topsy's legally blind.
Cotton and Topsy Kill refers to a fan theory that Cotton Hill and his friend Topsy murdered Luanne's roommate in the episode Moving On Up. During the post-credits scene, Cotton and Topsy encounter Luanne's roommate. They assume he's an intruder and attack him.
Then I'm arresting you for suspicion of murder. Grab him, Topsy.
No, all right, boy. It's coming.
Hey, get your hands off me, you Nazi.
Who are you calling a Nazi? No! All right, Topsy, let's roll.
The roommate disappears from the series after this incident with no explanation, leading some fans to theorize that the elderly veteran's violent confrontation resulted in his death, which they then covered up. Fan theories propose that Hank and Bobby Hill display characteristics consistent with autism spectrum disorder. Hank's obsessive fixation on propane, rigid adherence to routines, literal interpretation of social situations, discomfort with emotional expression, and resistance to change are cited as evidence. Bobby's social awkwardness, intense but shifting special interests, difficulty reading social cues, and nonconformist behavior patterns are similarly analyzed. Boomhauer, being Dale's handler, refers to the fan theory that Boomhauer works as a government agent assigned to monitor Dale Gribble. Dale's extreme paranoia about government surveillance and conspiracy theories would make him a person of interest, requiring covert observation. Boomhauer's nearly incomprehensible speech pattern serves as perfect cover. He can communicate with superiors or other agents while appearing to make casual conversation that Dale cannot understand. His constant presence in Dale's social circle provides unlimited access for surveillance. The theory suggests Boomhauer's laid-back demeanor and apparent lack of steady employment are facades masking his true role as a federal operative keeping tabs on Dale's activities and conspiracy research.
Where is that thumping coming from?
Could be far-off helicopters. UN helicopters.
Dale, what are you doing? Give me some light! Ah, my arm! Ah, my head! Ow! Ow! God!
This entry refers to a theory that Cotton didn't actually die from his medical complications, but instead staged his death to escape mounting hospital bills and potential legal consequences. The theory hinges on an earlier theory from the video about Cotton and Topsy allegedly murdering Luanne's roommate. Given Cotton's established pattern of deception, military cunning, and extreme measures to avoid perceived defeat or obligation, believers argue he would view faking his death as preferable to facing financial ruin or prosecution. The theory posits that Cotton's death was his final tactical maneuver to disappear from his problems entirely. Boomhauer's job as a Texas Ranger is only revealed in the series finale. The theory claims he's lying about being a ranger to pick up women. Throughout the series, Boomhauer is shown as a womanizer who talks smoothly to get dates. Fans find it suspicious that his real job was hidden until the very end. Since Texas Rangers have high status, pretending to be one would help him impress women and get laid.
But you got shot down by 23 women before you got that phone number.
Ain't no thing.
So this is your big secret? You just ask every woman you see until one of them finally says yes?
Shut, man, you gonna tell my no secret, man.
This entry refers to some recent news about the Revival series. We learned in an interview with Ronnie Chang, the new voice of Kahn, the character was specifically recast because the original actor was not Asian.
I'm in the new season.
No.
Yeah, of King of the Hill, yeah.
Dude.
I'm the... Oh, thanks, yeah.
What a cool thing to be part of.
I'm the new voice of Kahn. Yeah.
What happened to old Kahn?
He was, he was
voiced
not
his opinion
Asian.
on Twitter?
He wasn't an Asian guy.
Toby Huss, who voiced Cotton Hill and Kahn in the original series, has been recast as Dale Gribble in the Revival. This change occurred after Johnny Hardwick, Dale's original voice actor, passed away following the recording of several Revival episodes. Since Cotton died in the original series finale and Kahn is no longer part of Huss's role, the producers moved him to this equally significant character position. John Redcorn's tribal heritage is identified as Anasazi, an ancient Puebloan people known for their cliff dwellings in the southwestern United States. The Anasazi mysteriously disappeared before modern times, making this a historically significant but extinct culture. This specific tribal designation gives John Redcorn's character deeper backstory, connecting him to one of the most well-known ancient Native American civilizations, though Anasazi is actually a Navajo term meaning ancient enemies, rather than what these people called themselves. The King of the Hill Fox pitch animation refers to the original animated segment created by Mike Judge to pitch the series to Fox executives in the mid-1990s. This short prototype animation featured early character designs that differed from the final show, with rougher animation and some character elements that would later be refined.
Anyway, it's going to be a real funny show, I tell you what.
Cotton frequently boasts about killing 50 men during World War II, where he lost his shins. However, in Cotton's plot, Cotton admits he wasn't actually in Munich during the war as he previously claimed, revealing he either lied or conveniently forgot details about his service. This contradiction fuels the theory that Cotton fabricated his entire war record, including his signature claim of killing 50 enemy soldiers, suggesting his war stories are complete fiction designed to bolster his tough guy persona and command respect from others. This entry refers to a fan theory suggesting that Jimmy Witchard's unusual physical appearance and behavioral traits result from incestuous reproduction within his family lineage. Supporters point to his distinctive facial features, speech patterns, and social awkwardness as potential indicators of genetic issues commonly associated with inbreeding. The theory stems from his unexplained background, lack of clear family structure shown in the series, and fits into broader rural stereotypes that the show occasionally references.
Hey, you! Tommy! I need a soda!
Yes, Mr. Witchard.
Not that way, just run across!
Dale's paranoid conspiracy theories occasionally prove accurate or prescient. While typically portrayed as delusional rambling, some of his theories about government surveillance, corporate malfeasance, and hidden agendas align with real-world revelations that emerged after episodes aired. His fears about NSA surveillance, tobacco company cover-ups, and various government programs sometimes mirror actual scandals or declassified information. This creates irony where the show's most paranoid character demonstrates legitimate skepticism about institutional power, making his dismissed warnings seem prophetic in hindsight.
Face it, Hank, women are getting stronger and men are growing more effeminate. In the future, both men and women will visit the gynecologist, but only women will be getting their money's worth.
Leaked storyboards reveal that Minh and Kahn have divorced in the Revival series. The separation deeply affects their daughter Connie, who becomes frustrated with Minh's constant complaints about both Bobby and Kahn. Kahn has moved in with Bill, creating a living situation between the neighborhood's two divorced men. This development suggests potential storylines exploring their unusual roommate dynamic, while an episode titled Conscious Uncoupling may address either the divorce itself or Kahn's eventual transition to independent living. Another leaked storyboard shows Peggy on crutches with a knee injury attempting to reach a hospital elevator for an MRI appointment. During a panic attack in the confined elevator space, she drops an F-bomb saying, "Back the fuck up," while hyperventilating. This marks a significant departure from the original series, which never featured profanity of any kind. The scene suggests the revival may incorporate occasional strong language, with Peggy's use fitting her character's quick temper and the extreme stress of her medical anxiety. The storyboards indicate this could represent either a rare occurrence or a broader shift toward more adult language in the updated series, making it one of the most notable changes from the original show's content standards. And that's all for this video. Thank you for watching.